Okay, so it's about 5 o'clock. Went ahead and shocked everything. At 8 o'clock, allowed for one full turnover. Went ahead and tested the chlorine using my test kit here, and it's still at around 12 parts per million, so I must have hit it around, maybe 15 parts, which is okay. But if you want to, my son is working the camera now, he's home from school. You go ahead and check this out. It's starting to lighten up. It was, that really nasty green, and it's starting to lighten up. And so I'm not going to shock the pool again because the chlorine is still high. I'm just going to allow it to just keep filtering. I went ahead and cleaned the filter out, the cartridge filter. So that's about it, and just going to let it run and filter, and that's about it. So it's the next day, and I took a sample of water to the pool store for analysis, and I just want to show you this here real quick. Let's see. Hopefully you can see this. I know there might be a glare, but the pH is at 7.4, and the alkalinity is at, I think it's 125, and I found that kind of strange because it went up about 25-30 parts per million, and the guy said that because of the rain that we just got, actually the pool filled up about 3 inches. We got a lot of rain. He said that that'll happen with the alkalinity. So what I want to do is to get the pH down around 7.0 and also hit the alkalinity. Going to use muriatic acid. Now it's 0.1 or 0.8 quarts per 10,000 gallons to reduce the pH 0.2, and that's also going to hit the alkalinity a little bit. But this time I'm going to broadcast the acid around the perimeter of the pool because I want to hit the pH as well. And then after I do that, I'm going to come back about 2 hours later and shock the pool. You never want to add a chemical right on top of another chemical adjustment. You want to wait about 2 to 3 hours before the adjustments. If you haven't seen my video about that, please do so. I always did that when I had my pool route in Arizona. I would always wait, at least 2-3 hours before applications. So let's go ahead and add that acid. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. I had my measuring cup right here, and I'm just gonna get this maybe about a third full of pool water. And now again, it's 0.8 quarts per 10,000 gallons to lower the pH 0.2. So I'm not going to put in a full quart. This is 8 ounces. I'm just going to use about 24 ounces because again, you want to work up incrementally. You don't want to make the adjustment all at once. So just going to add the acid. And always add the acid to the water, never the other way around. And I think the owners are home, so I'm going to take the stir stick, stir it here, and take it, rinse it off, and then go ahead and add it. And then go ahead and take your broom and just sweep pretty well, because you want to mix all that acid up in there because you're lowering the pH. And as you can see, the water is much lighter. Okay, and that's it. My job is done here. I'm just going to wait 2 hours and go ahead and shock the pool again. You probably saw in there it's down to 5 parts per million. I'm going to bring that up to around 12 parts per million, and for that I'm probably just going to use 1 gallon of chlorine. I'm not going to do 2 because I already have 5 in there. Just want to bring it up about 7 parts per million. So I'm just going to use about 1 gallon. So be back in about 2 hours. Okay, so it's been about 2 hours already from when I added the acid, and I'm going to go ahead and shock the pool again. Now, the chlorine is already at 5 parts per million, so I really only have to bring it up about 5 to 7 parts per million to hit the 10 to 12 million, 10 to 12 parts per million mark. So I'm only going to use about a half a gallon of half a gallon of chlorine. Sorry, today's Valentine's Day, and I'm kind of hurried right now, so let's go ahead and shock the pool. Okay, so I'm going to have the empty bucket right here. I'm going to fill it up with a little bit of pool water. And take the chlorine. And just pour about maybe half a gallon in here. If I get a little over, it's not that big of a deal. That's about a half a gallon right there. So, rinse that off. Take the stir stick, mix it in there, and remember, rinse it off first so don't bleach out the deck, and then broadcast it around the perimeter of the pool. And be sure to sweep very well. Okay, so I went ahead and shocked the pool, swept very well. Just gonna let it filter overnight. It's about, I think it's about 4:30 right now. So I'll go ahead and check it tomorrow morning and see where the chlorine is. Okay, so it's been about 4 days now, and I've been waiting for this dog to stop barking. So maybe you can hear that or not. The owner's over there. But I'm going to be taking my kids to the park, so I have chances such as clearing up a green pool. You can use a clarifier or a... Okay, so it's been about 4 days now and of continuously filtering, and that's about, I think it's about 100 hours, so at 10 hours per turnover. It's turned over the water about 10 times already. So I just want to show you here. It is it's still just a bit cloudy, but it is so much better than it was before. Actually, you can see the step right there. And what I'm going to do now is put in a few ounces of clarifier. Now, have you seen any of my other videos? You know that I'm not a big fan of clarifiers on a weekly basis, because if you have your readings right, you don't need it. However, I do make it clear in extenuating circumstances such as clearing up a green pool, it can help. So I'm going to put the clarifier in and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I have the bucket right here and I have the clarifier. Now, for normal routine maintenance is around 1 ounce. Initial dose is 2, but for a cloudy pool like this, I'm going to go ahead and double the ounces. So I'm treating this as a 20,000 gallon pool. So I'm going to go down to right about 20 ounces. So I'm going to use about 12 ounces of clarifier. So I'm going to go ahead and fill up the bucket and let's go ahead and pour this in. Okay. About 20 ounces right there. Take the stir stick, give it a good mix. Rinse it off and just broadcast it around the perimeter of the pool. Okay, so that's it. I went ahead and did it. And let that filter for about 6 to 8 hours. I'm just going to let it go for one full turnover. And right now it's about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and test it before it gets, or check it before it gets too dark. Maybe around 7 o'clock tonight. See what it looks like. Okay, so it is another day. I didn't have my video camera when I did the last, I guess you would call it adjustment, but I put the other half of the clarifier in the pool. So let's go ahead and take a look at it and see what's going on. You can see it, but those are leaves on the bottom of the pool. So it is clearing up. There's the light right there. So I'm going to go ahead and clean out the filter one more time. I'm just going to soak it for about 2-3 hours in a mixture of muriatic acid and water. I do 20 to 1 mixture. About every gallon of water, use about a cup and a half of muriatic acid. Let it sit for about maybe 2-3 hours. Best is if you can do it overnight, but I don't have that time, so I'm just going to do it for about 2 or 3 hours. So I sprayed the filter out. Looks pretty good. And there's the cartridge, and I have the bucket filled with clean water. This is about almost 4 gallons, and I'm going to use 4 of those. Again, it's about a gallon, it's a cup per gallon of muriatic acid. Okay, so I put the acid in there, and I spilled a little bit, as you can see right there. That's why you want to use gloves. So, just going to take a stir stick, give it a quick little stir, and take the clean filter and put it in there, just like that. And gonna let that soak for about an hour and a half. It's not going up all the way, as you can see. So gonna let that soak for about an hour and a half on each side, and then reinstall it. So it's been about 4.5 hours. It's been soaking. I went ahead and flipped it over, and I'm gonna spray it off, hook everything back up. I got everything going, and one thing that I did want to mention is I sweep the pool a lot, probably twice a day. I like to keep that dirt and algae kind of mixed up so it can go into the skimmer there. What I've also been doing is just gently sweeping when I get dirt into the deep end. I gently sweep it into the bottom drain, just to kind of help out the filtration a little bit. So anyway, that's about it, and I'm gonna check back tomorrow morning, see what's going on.